the Biden administration is going after Alex Jones and Roger Stone. I don't know why I didn't expect it. I probably should at this point, but like going after Alex Jones. Are you kidding me? Like, why? Do you need to?
Yeah.
Like, just is he that much of a threat to you?
Yeah.
If so, how? It's like I always get the joke where it's like, Alex Jones says that the Democratic elites are a bunch of demon worshipping KKK rats or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay, that's nonsense. Then they get really offended by it, and it's like, wait, hang on. Like, why are you taking that so personally? Anyway, so here's the story. So this is the first one here. We have the January 6th committee who are investigating January 6th, let's say. And on here, we have 3 Democrats and 2 Republicans who hate Trump. That's it. That's the entire committee. So do you really need to wait to find out what their conclusion's going to be? The Trump man bad?
Yeah, this isn't like the Kyle Rittenhouse jury that was drawn carefully from a cross-section of society. This is a very partisan committee.
So if we go to the next one, we can see, of course, the Democrats going after their opponents on this. And as you can see, January 6th Capitol Riot Committee subpoenas Roger Stone and Alex Jones.
You know, Alex Jones used to be like totally ripped and like totally different.
I thought he still is. Is he not?
No, he's strong, but he's a bit of a fat shit.
I'm not fighting him, though. Anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight him either. Not when he's like totally roided out.
Anyway, let's go to the next one. So we have the subpoenas, and the subpoenas are kind of weird and have some weird things written in them. So this is the one to Roger Stone, for example. And they say in here, before traveling to Washington, you promoted your upcoming appearance at the January 6th Stop the Steal event and solicited donations from supporters to pay for security by directing them to stopthesteal.org. And? That's not a crime.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, you went to a protest and you asked for donations. Okay. What's that got to do with the storming of the Capitol, It's just like literally nothing. But right, okay, this is what they're trying to investigate them on. And it shows how easily this is just a nothing.
Yeah.
Like, they are just persecuting them. They're not trying to find any information because there's nothing to find.
Yeah.
They go for another accusation in here. While in Washington, you reportedly used members of the Oath Keepers as personal security guards, several of whom were reportedly involved in the attack on the Capitol. At least one of them has been indicted. Again, and what? Like, is he meant to have known that? It's not happening?
This really feels like the witch hunts, the Hollywood witch hunts, where they're basically saying, we've found some evidence that you have the wrong opinions. Not evidence of crime, but you've got the wrong opinions.
You heard some people around you, and one of them later committed a crime. Okay. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't me.
Yeah,
not the same guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you can see it's just nothing. I mean, absolute nothing. So if we carry on, we have the January 6th Twitter account for the committee, because of course everything, especially American government, has to have a goddamn twitter.com account, which I just find weird, and they're bragging about sending out their subpoenas here and demanding for evidence. So if we go on, we also have Liz Cheney, who decides to subpoena Mark Meadows. I'm not familiar with this chap, but he used to work for Trump apparently, and he just told him to F off. Like, literally just go F yourselves, I'm not interested. And they had to release a statement where they're sort of groveling, and they're saying it's unfortunate that Mr. Meadows has chosen to join a very small group of witnesses who believe they are above the law and are defying a select committee subpoena outright. Yeah, but I mean, your subpoena is literally nonsense, so I can't really blame him at all. And he'll just take the consequences, I suppose, which you'll be getting arrested or whatever for contempt of Congress or whatever it is, which Bannon did. So if we carry on this. The other thing is the fact that Liz Cheney is one of the Republicans who hates Trump. Liz Cheney, I don't know if you're familiar, but is just a complete rhino. Everyone hates her. Apparently, even in her own place, they hate her. So this is her getting kicked out of the GOP in Wyoming. And they say in here, Wyoming's GOP will no longer recognize Liz Cheney as a member over the anti-Trump stance. Yeah. The party's central committee voted 31-29 over the weekend to take the step against Cheney. They just kicked her out. They're just like, yeah, we don't want you if we can help it. It's like, well, that's telling. It's not just that she's like one of the side conservatives or something. No, nothing. Like, not even considered worthy of keeping around.
Yeah, but I think this is the Republican Party by Trumpism.
Has become the Trump party.
Yeah, it's become the Trump party, which is dangerous. And Trump, for all that I love him because he's hilarious and he pisses off the right people, and he's an incompetent president, which means the society can function because the government can't do anything, which is the best kind of government. The best kind of government is completely hamstrung by
when you've dealt with the S&P, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone.
I don't want them to be able to have any actual influence.
I mean, I don't really agree, to be honest. I mean, because it's not just him, of course. It's the ideology of America First. And caucus and whatnot.
But I mean, a lot of that is, I don't think Trump is, by any means, a perfect leader. I don't think populism is a sort of last bastion for, it's dangerous. So I just think there's problems with people who are more centrist being pushed out of the Republican Party. I think
I might agree if she was a more centrist person, but like the last few things I have ever seen from her is her endlessly whining about Trump and how we need to kick Trump out, and it's like, you're in the wrong ball game, love.
Yeah, and
like,
then she's been kicked out.
It's like going to the Democratic Party and being like, yeah, so this Joe Biden guy, need rid of him. Yeah. Okay, if you want to try that, go for it. Anyway, so if we carry on, we have the next one here, which is Cheney going after Bannon as well. And in here, they're, again, whining. Steve Bannon's indictment should send a clear message to anyone who thinks they can ignore the Select Committee or try to stonewall our investigation. No one is above the law, they say in here.
It's not really the law, though, is it? It's a
Well, it's a subpoena.
Yeah.
They have the power to charge you with, contempt of Congress. And they did with Steve Bannon. So we go to the next one. We have CNN putting on this. Bannon released from custody pending trial on contempt of Congress charges. Because he, again, like the other guy, just went, go to hell. I don't care about you people. This committee is 3 Democrats and two Republicans who hate Trump. I'm not cooperating with you. I'm Steve Bannon. He's the guy who ran the campaign for Trump back in the day. It's so silly. Anyway, so they have a CNN article as well in here, and I tried to use them because it's a good source for, let's say, the leftist perspective. And they say in here, for example, that they are making an example of Steve Bannon. That's all they're doing. So they say in here, number one, things they've learned. They are making an example of Steve Bannon, but don't expect any resolution anytime soon. When the Trump ally Steve Bannon made clear he was not going to comply with his subpoena, the committee swiftly moved to take a critical step against holding him with criminal contempt. The Select Committee will not tolerate defiance of our subpoenas, so we must move forward with the proceedings and refer Mr. Bannon to criminal contempt, Democratic chair of the committee said in a statement. The committee's decision to officially move forward with the criminal contempt of Bannon underscores how it views criminal contempt as a tool to expedite getting the information they need to move forward with the investigation, or at least showing there are consequences for witnesses who don't cooperate. I don't think they mean it to show what that is saying, but what it is saying is essentially, yeah, we have nothing, but we're literally just going to bully these people to send a message.
Yeah.
Because again, the committee is just rigged. And who the hell isn't rigged?
It's an abuse of the power. I mean, like with things like this, where the committee can be so partisan. I mean, it's an abuse of or it could be seen as an abuse of the power they've got to.
Yeah, they're just using it as a stick.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got 5 people essentially who hate Trump, and they're in charge of a committee that can charge you with criminal contempt for their subpoenas. And who have they gone after? Well, loads of people who like Trump.
Yeah.
So, I mean, could you guess what the motive might be?
Yeah, the solution to populism isn't, attacking the people who are,
Have we tried being corrupt?
The solution to populism is to have more popular appeal with your own ideas and ideologies. It's, Trump...
Elitism doesn't really bend itself to that. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, they continue in here. We think Steve Bannon has information that is germinate to what happened on January 6th, and if he refuses the subpoena like we expect him to do, then we're left with no choice but ask the criminal justice system to lock him up, which they did. And then, well, he just walked out because, I don't know, I assume if there's a bail, you just paid it and then went get lost, which, Chad energy, I'll give them that. Number 2 on here, they say the Select Committee is pushing hard for witnesses and documents. They want everyone to know how aggressive they're being. The committee has few options in their disposal when it comes to handling individuals who defy the subpoenas, but members on the committee made it clear last week they are unified in believing that criminal contempt is their best and fastest option. Again, not trying to work with people, not trying to find what the evidence is or to have a discussion, we're just going to go after people and give them criminal contempt.
Yeah.
Because the people we're going after know that it's rigged. Anyway, so if we go to the letter for Alex Jones, this is another example of how it's obviously dumb. Is in here, they even admit that Alex Jones did nothing wrong, which you would have thought would be the end of the discussion. So they say in here that when you arrived at the Capitol, talking to Alex Jones, you were recorded telling people not to be violent and to gather on the east side of the Capitol to hear President Trump speak.
Yeah. So
end of conversation.
Yeah, a lot less violent and a lot less insightful than any Antifa riot or any...
I know, right? But imagine going into jail for this or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're in for contempt of court. What are you in for? I told people not to be violent. Literally. That is in the subpoena they sent to Alex Jones. What a joke. Anyway, so even CNN end up thinking this is kind of dumb, which I found funny. I mean, you would have thought they would at least back their guys on this, but nah. I don't think they're trying to not, but it just comes out that way. So they say in this article about the whole thing, the subpoenas underscored a fast-track strategy by Democratic-led committee that is unlikely to survive if Republicans who have long protected Trump win in the next House midterm elections, which they're going to. So, again, dead. Everyone's going to get changed out on that one. They also say in here, Stone said in a statement that he had no advanced knowledge of the events on the Capitol at January 6th, and that any claim or report alleging or implying that he did was categorically false. Because, of course, it was. I mean, the claim here is essentially that Mr. Jones, Alex Jones, and Trump and Roger Stone and some other people got together. They were like, hey, Oath Keepers, storm the Capitol, but keep it hush. It's like, it just didn't happen. I mean, again, with the fantasies, I mean, if you're going to live in that world, go for it, I guess. Yeah. He later told CNN affiliate Koki he would probably assert my Fifth Amendment right and decline to be interviewed. So he's not even going to say anything. Again, another guy's just going to go get stuffed. Don't care. Which, again, Chad. There was also the reporter in the autoplay on this who even ended up saying that they're going to ask questions such as, was this a coordinated event? No. Just look at the footage. You think those people are coordinated?
Yeah.
What are you, high?
I think the thing that makes people think it was coordinated is the fact it was so neat and orderly when they went into the Capitol building. They walked between the ropes
when they got in.
It was very sort of, nobody was like, going crazy, throwing things around or screaming, like Antifa would. They just went in.
A little guide at the front who's got a little flag leading them.
And if you're going to protest, why not protest at the actual seat of power where your protest, could have some influence instead of going and burning down, a flower shop somewhere, like
that's more fun, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's easier to get away with if you go and like burn down somebody's business that they've spent decades building up. But,
they deserved it more.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so moving on from this, we have some polling and all this, which I found just funny tangentially, because I mean, this is another example of just Biden abusing his situation, or his administration, you could say, abusing themselves.
I'd say administration rather than Biden. I don't think Biden knows what day of the week it is.
No,
and I'm not joking when I say that. I mean, I genuinely like.
Well, it is actually increasingly kind of sad.
Yeah, it kind of is, and it might be better for the presidential duties to be passed over to Kamala Harris because I mean Reagan was he's known he was senile during the last.
But when you've got a puppy this sick, it just feels right to put it down.
And it's right in the first year of his term, and it's like, man, we can't have. What's he going to be like in 4 years' time?
Well, that's the point. That's why I raised this. I mean, instead, put Kamala in charge is what you would expect them to do, maybe. But in here, they say Biden says he's running. And then apparently they asked the press secretary and says, yeah, he's going to run for the next election. And I thought he ruled that out because he looks so senile already.
Yeah.
But apparently not. He's actually going to go for it.
We urgently need Tulsi Gabbard to become president. I think it's the only hope for humanity.
Trump. Anyway, but I have to wonder whether or not Trump's got him scared because Trump making noises about running again. Yeah. And I reckon he's just scared and is like, I'll just do it again then.
Yeah.
Solve everything. So if we go to the next one on this, there's also just some other funny news out of it's kind of related to all this that I thought was interesting. So this one here, Paxi, how do you say it? Psaki, sorry.
Psaki.
Attacks DeSantis.
You got to be very careful with this one.
Oh, God, yeah. Attacks DeSantis over Disney ending its vaccine mandate. What did Disney do? She says in here, DeSantis signed 4 bills last week requiring private employers to allow vaccine exemptions. So in the state of Florida, you can't be fired for not taking the vaccine.
Right.
That's his orders.
Yeah.
And
which seems fair.
She's mad because, of course, she's mad because they don't like this. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki indicated the decision of Disney World to halt its employee vaccine mandate showed how Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis, quote, takes steps backwards when it comes to fighting the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it just makes him look more based and makes you look evil. I mean, again, he's literally like, yeah, free choice. Bad man. But she says in here, and there's the quote, and she says, they're based in Florida, and obviously the governor has consistently taken steps and takes steps backwards as it relates to fighting the pandemic, not forward. The first 4 words.
Yeah, I think, we're misunderstanding this. She's saying they are based in Florida.
Yeah, based in Florida. Nice of her to admit it, finally.
Yeah.
I mean, just that's all I heard. The rest of it, mumbles or something. Anyway. But I also thought we'd just look at the polls real quick, as well as just, who's more popular out of these two. So this is Joe Biden, and as you can see here,
who's the other line?
So this is approval versus disapproval.
Right,
and as you can see, disapproval now 52% and has just gotten worse and worse.
Yeah. And I saw one where a poll that was as low as 36% approval. So I mean, he's certainly rivaling some of the worst presidents ever for for the approval ratings.
Yeah, not doing well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he wants to continue show voting as like, I'm going to run again, good luck.
Oh man,
And
yeah, it's kind of sad to think about it.
then we have Ron DeSantis, who has his election for
It's
governor.
like Laurel
actually.
Hubbard saying, "I'm going to come back and win the women's weightlifting at the age of like 58."
She'll still do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we have DeSantis as well. He has some polling, which is 47 to 39 against the Dem in his area. I mean, again, just more and more popular, the more and more base things he does.
Yeah.
They're based in Florida. Jen Psaki, I mean, get down a shirt.
Yeah.
And I look forward to him winning and Biden. I please run, to be frank. Like, could you imagine it? I mean, like, he was senile last time. This time, it's just going to be...
Yeah. He's not going to run, obviously.
If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com and sign up to get access to all the premium content we have on the site.
Yeah, we've got absolutely loads of that because we've been doing this for over a year now. So we've got a massive library of content that we're really, really proud of. We've got loads of premium articles, which we have written by our in-house writers and external writers, such as this one by Hugo, which is talking about the great narrative of the World Economic Forum and how it's falling apart. The cracks are becoming visible. And we also have, for silver tier members and above, an audio track read by Jonathan Crow, who's a very, very good speaker, and this makes it easier for you. We also have our regular series, such as Contemplations, like this one, where I debate Josh about whether free will is an illusion or not. I am very firmly on the free will exists side of things, and Josh is wrong, but you can find out why if you go and sign up. We also have the epochs that Bo and I do, which is fantastic. At the moment, we're halfway through, or 2/3 of the way through the series on Belisarius. Do you know who Belisarius is, Callum?
Got to reconquered Rome.
Yes, he did. And
We lost it.
it's honestly a genuine tragedy, and it's a really sad tale. And we're just at the apex of his conquests at the moment. But next week, we'll get to enjoy the tragedy of it. It's really sad. But we also do loads of other stuff, like interviews that we did one recently with Philip Tanzer, who's a men's rights activist and conservative activist. And in this second one, we end up talking about the sort of metaphysics of masculinity. What is it you're trying to uphold by being a man? And I think it's important. Lots there to learn. And he's a very interesting thinker anyway. We also have the book club, which is fantastic. We're about to record another one now, but this last one we did was Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince. So if you want to get the most out of these books, you can join us there, because we've done a lot of work studying these. And we also do premium podcasts covering sensitive subjects, such as what happened to the January the 6th rioters. And we do slightly more academic ones, such as this next one about the origins of intersectionality. Where does the term come from? What's the point of it? Well, I went and read everything that Kimberly Crenshaw wrote about it, and, well, it's not good news, frankly.
In addition, you can also follow us on any of the social medias, such as getter.com. So you can follow us there at lotuseaters_com. And also, you'll be speaking at the Counter Conference conference.
Yes. Yeah, the Counter Conference at the London O2 on December the 8th.
Yes.
I'm going to be speaking on a panel with Jason Miller, Lawrence Fox, and a few others. It's going to be fantastic, so come down and see us there.
Anyway, if you'd like to get access to all that premium content or follow everything we do, please sign up at lotuseaters.com. Thank you and goodbye.